All right. Good late morning over here in the West. Good early afternoon over on the East. It is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. Hope you're all having a great start to your week. We are a couple days into the week. We're a few days into the new year. Um, and it is shaping up to be something spectacular. Let's just put it that way. All right, we'll jump into the news here real quick. Thanks for joining us with LWN headline hits with LW. Turtle Man. Let's go there first this afternoon. Turtle Man. Mitch McConnell led an effort to trash Bob Dole's AIDS career over the tide to a January 6th of last year. So the Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell personally led an effort to damage the career of a longtime aide to former Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole over AIDS participation or connection or link to the January 6th. And I guess from what it says, that this aide had a company. It was called Event Strategies Incorporated there in DC. And I guess for the last decade, Bob Dole and his family had interactions with this aide and had planned Dole's funeral, and it was sabotaged by Captain Turtle there and his minions when they started looking into phone records, seeing texts going back and forth. And anyway, bottom line is Turtle Man took it upon himself to unleash the hounds on this poor fellow, and is really just ruining his reputation around DC and his business. So moving on to world news, I want to talk about France real quick. So the sickness coup, French National Assembly rejects the Decepticon vacation passport in shock vote. So what does that mean? Well, that means a lot of countries out there in the world are just they're fed up with it. They're not going to comply. They're not going to consent. In a shock move in the late hours of Monday evening, the French National Assembly rejected a push from the government to transform the nation's sickness pass into a fully fledged um, vacation passport. So remember, we've talked about this a few times about how they're using the sickness. They want you to have proof that you've had vacations, proof that you've had boosters. They've had paperwork that you can carry around, or they're wanting to push this whole digital thing on your phone to where you carry it around on your phone. That grants you access into restaurants and shopping and flights. You name it. They want to control you, and France is saying, hell no. All right, let's move over to old Ted Cruz, the Republican from Texas. I found this very interesting. What does this mean? Well, you take it for what it's worth. So the GOP led House could seek Biden impeachment. Okay, what does that mean? Well, old Teddy, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, said that he believes House Republicans could seek impeachment against President Joe Biden should they take control of the House of Representatives after the 2022 midterms. Um, he also goes on to say that the current Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat from California, has chosen to weaponize impeachment against the former president, Donald Trump, which could mean an expectation that the Republicans return the favor once in control of the House. I don't think there is a chance of that, he said. Whether it's justice or not, the Democrats weaponized impeachment. They used it as a partisan purpose to go after Trump because they disagreed with him. And one of the real disadvantages of doing that is the more you weaponize it and turn it into a partisan tool, then what's good for the goose basically is good for the gander. His words, not mine. So let's just hypothetically say that yes, the Republicans take back the House in the 2022 midterms. Let's say hypothetically, which they have already started doing from day one, filing articles of impeachment. Let's just say that they do get the House back. They file articles of impeachment. It goes into the House, and let's say it passes in the House. Then it's sent to the Senate, or to the Congress. When in the last 20 years has any president that has actually been impeached been thrown out of the White House? I want to ask that question because if you remember correctly, old Billy Stinkfinger, he got impeached, and Congress decided not to allow it to happen. And then T also got impeached not once but twice. So as far as I can remember, the last person that got impeached or was pressured with impeachment and stepped down and resigned was Nixon. So even if they push that on old pudding in the pants, I don't think anything's going to come of it. To be honest with you, that's just my opinion. But here's some more information topic here on Marjorie Taylor Greene. We all know that she was censored and banned from Twitter the other day. Well, old Zuckerberg, he decided that he's going to jump on that bandwagon as quickly as possible as well. Facebook blacklist Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene following the Twitter ban. Uh, Facebook suspended the page of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia, and an action that came fast on the heels of Twitter. And Marjorie comes out to say, quote, this is beyond censorship of speech, said Representative Greene. I'm an elected member of Congress representing over 700,000 U.S. tax-paying citizens, and I represent their voices, values, defend their freedoms, and protect the Constitution. Now, the reason why she is being censored is because she is putting out, quote, misinformation, end quote, talking about the CDC, talking about the vacations, and some of the other protocols that you can use instead of having to take the old vacation. And so they decided they were going to censor her voice yet again. Why am I bringing this up? Well, folks, if they can censor the president of the United States and they can censor representatives and congressmen and women of the United States, then they can censor us. Okay, so I wanted to bring this article up because there's all kinds of things out there that try to point to what's happening in the White House, that this is all a movie and this is that. So I thought I'd bring this up real quick. Fake views. Joe Biden digital set adds footage to snow falling at the White House. Okay, we've talked about this a couple of times. The White House staff used video footage of snow falling outside the White House to enhance the artificial windows on President Joe Biden's digital set on Monday. Now, why do they do this? Why do they have a digital set? Why do they not do interviews and stuff in the most powerful office in the world, which is the Oval Office? Why would they have to go to a digital set to do this? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. And I'm sure a lot of you in chat right now, which I'm not paying attention to, have all the answers. Um, I don't know if they're the correct answers, but I'm sure you have a lot of them. So as the president spoke, the digital window pane behind him showed snow falling outside the White House, presumably recorded earlier in the morning when the winter storm hit on DC. So do they use this digital stage to set effects in the background behind him to make it look all wintry? Another photo shows in the background, it shows cargo ships and containers is what it looked like in the background of the photo. So, are they using the digital set to set a precedence to capture, your attention on what the topic is. I don't know. Is it fake? I don't know. I just thought I would throw that out there and let you guys chew on it. All right. So Pelosi's reign is starting to crumble around her. We know we talked about it the other day about her announcing that she was going to retire, step down after the midterms because she felt like they weren't going to retain the House. So here's more of her colleagues also stepping down. Pelosi, majority crumbles. Longtime Democrat Representative Bobby Rush will not seek reelection. Bobby Rush, who is a Democrat out of the state of Illinois, reportedly not seeking reelection, further putting doubt on the House Democrats' ability to keep the slimming majority after midterms in less than a year. This gentleman is 75 years old. He is ready to hang it up, and rightfully so at 75, sir. I think it's time for some fresh blood. All right. Moving on. Thank you, Shane, for the super sticker. I did catch that out of the corner of my eye. Appreciate it. Okay, so here's something that I found interesting as well. They're already planting the seed. They're already starting the narrative. So listen to the narrative. Swellen warns in 2022 could be the last election. You heard it right. You heard it first right here at Headline Hits. Voting as you know it in this country will be gone. What are they talking about? Well, Representative Eric Swalwell, Democrat from the great old state of California, issued a stark warning about the upcoming 2022 midterm elections should the GOP take control of the House and the Senate. Well, you're asking yourself, what are they talking about, Mike? Well, what they're talking about is they are pushing the narrative yet again that if the Republicans get control of the House and the Senate, they're going to permanently make it difficult to vote and just alter the way that we perceive and participate in the democratic process. End quote. Okay. Let me make this so clear that a third grader will understand it. When you buy school lunch for your child, in most schools, you have to carry on your person a school identification card. At least my son has a couple of times. So when you go to buy your school lunch, you show your ID and they scan it. Why do they do that? To make sure that the right kid is getting into the right account to pay for his school lunch. If my child has to carry a student identification card just to get his lunch that I have paid for, don't you think here in America that we could force people to have to carry on them a photo ID to ensure that they are the right person casting the vote in a presidential election? Just thought I'd throw that out there. All right. U.S. Navy SEALs versus Biden ruling military vacation mandate illegal. A federal judge granted a temporary injunction on Monday against President Joe Biden's federal vacation mandate for Navy SEALs on the basis of religious freedom. So it goes on to say that the First Liberty Institute filed the suit on behalf of 35 Navy SEALs. And it just goes on to say that they are pushing hard to ensure that they don't have to, be forced to do that. And the judge goes on to say that our nation asks the men and the women of our military to serve, suffer, and sacrifice. But we do not need to ask them to lay aside their civilian citizenry and give up their very rights that they have sworn to protect. Um, it's just a shame that these people have served for us time and time again, put their lives on the line, but yet the government wants to try to force a mandate on them. So I'm in the Navy SEALs corner. I'm sure they're going to win this suit and show them who's boss. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. The Navy SEALs are fighting back. They're always on the fight. So U.S. ranchers, I thought this was important because it's just more of the federal tit. U.S. ranchers offered aid as Biden reserves largest protections for corporate meat packers. Okay, now we've talked about this lots and lots of times about the feds getting involved in all facets of our lives. They like to entice us, entice the state, entice the educational system, entice the medical system with all this federal money, all this federal funding, and they get you hooked on it, and then they can control you. So Joe Biden is offering federal aid in the form of $1 billion to packaging ranchers and farmers and independent processors, even as they reserve the largest protections for the four meatpacking corporations that dominate the market. Now, to me, it's coming out of the $1.9 trillion America Rescue Plan. Um, it's just another way, in my opinion, for the feds to get in there and start controlling the meatpacking industry, controlling more farmers and ranchers, and that's what we do not want in this country. We want less government, not more. Okay, this article I found pretty interesting too. The report came out of Japan. Japan to limit facial recognition technology exports to China. So it's coming, folks. It's coming. It's already here. It seems like some countries are already using it, but Japan is allegedly planning to limit the exports of artificial intelligence (AI) powered facial recognition software to China to prevent Beijing from using such technology to surveil and persecute ethnic minorities in China. So, we've talked about this also here in America, where they can use this facial recognition to go after Trump supporters and alike, right? They can use it for bad and not for good. So that's just something I guess China has taken upon themselves to say, nah, we don't want to give this technology to China. But I'm sorry to report, Japan, eventually they'll probably steal it anyway and they'll have it. All right, so here's the final two articles of the day. I found this very interesting. I put it in the title, which is 38 million guns sold, question mark, in China colonizing, question mark. Colonizing, let's just leave it at that word. China claims parts of India, renames them in Mandarin. Really? Is that for real? Outraged Indian media outlets accused China Communist Party on Monday of playing mind games and hatching a sinister design to colonize the country following a bizarre declaration last week in which China renamed significant parts of an Indian state with Mandarin language names. What's that all about? I don't know. I find it strange. It was a headline hit. You can read it if you'd like and read more about it, but it's China, which we already know was kind of moving into Taiwan, and now they built those islands out there in the ocean, and kind of outreaching and getting too close to Japan. I mean, China is all over the place right now, and it just seems like nobody's doing anything to stop them. All right, final article of the day. FBI conducted over 38.8 million gun background checks in 2021. Why did I bring this up? Why is this in the headlines? Well, FBI conducted over 38.8 million national instant criminal background checks during 2021. It goes on to say that nearly 39.7 million checks were conducted in 2020, shattering the previous record of 27.5 million set in 2016. 2016 was the end of Big Ears reign, Obama, and then with everything happening in the last 18 months, those sales have soared and smashed records, broke records. It seems like everybody is grabbing onto their Second Amendment. Why is that? Well, when you have distrust in your government, it's something that happens, and a lot of people are reacting to it. And I think everyone in America should honestly carry and own a firearm. I think it's important to keep our government in check. And I think the Second Amendment alone protects all the other amendments. If we didn't have the Second Amendment, we'd have no amendments. If we didn't have the Second Amendment, we wouldn't have the Constitution anymore. If we didn't have the Second Amendment, these guys would already tramp all over us and leave us in the gutter, so to speak. And that's not what we want. So I just encourage all of you out there to practice your Second Amendment and uphold it and pay attention to the Constitution. Know your sheriff, get to know your sheriff, find your state constitution, read it, learn it, get to know it. That way we can all together collectively make this place a better place to live. So thank you for joining me for Headline Hits today. Hope you all have a great day. We will be back tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 6 Mountain Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at Liberty Warrior Nation. Love y'all. Have a great day.